Hello, everybody, and welcome to Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. It is episode 399. We've almost been doing this for 400 episodes. Wow. I don't like to think about that. But I also kind of do at the same time. That's the quandary that we all share. Think about time. Think about the time that we've used to talk about video games. And how we've been consistent all these years. Pretty consistent, I would say. Maverick, you're here with me on this episode 399.
Choo choo!
Damn! That's the kind of power that we're looking for. That I do not have because I'm like still like half asleep, honestly. I'm drinking a big old thing of water. Hopefully that wakes me up a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I am. Whoa. I was up until 4 last night. One of those rare nights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not rare. I'm like a night owl at this point. Love it.
Yeah.
Craigslist has some weird fucking gigs, man. In my perpetual pursuit of employment again.
Mm-hmm. Is it something that you can openly discuss, or is it just like, damn, that was crazy anyway?
I mean, folks listening in the video game choo sphere, the greater video game choo choo universe,
right?
Is $40 decent compensation for nude posing?
I don't know.
Because I don't think so.
That doesn't sound... I'm bad with math. I'm very bad with math.
Oh,
it's kind of hard
me.
for me to visualize numbers.
I already have an issue whenever I try and tell somebody, like, oh, pay me for this editing thing I can do. I can kind of do it. I'm pretty bad with numbers. I don't want to, scam somebody out of their money and make it seem like, oh, I'm not giving a right product, because the ghost of capitalism still just haunts my brain every now and then. But if I'm going to have to go
Absolutely.
out there and let it out, you want
to get paid right.
Yeah, I want to get paid right. And $40 doesn't seem right.
That seems a little low. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that seems a little low, but I don't know, maybe they're just looking for someone who's like in it for the love of the game. They're just like, yeah, I'm just getting nude.
They list it as a remarkable experience, and it's like, that is a new way to say that you're paying me an exposure. Or rather,
yeah,
I'm paying to provide exposure.
Yeah, there's exposure in multiple aspects here. There's multiple aspects here. I don't know. It seems like Craigslist is a really great way to get screwed over in many different aspects. One of the funniest memories that I have was the first time I went to E3. My grandfather had basically just like wanted to offload an old tablet that he had. So he was basically like, look, I'm never going to use this. I don't really know how online selling works. So John, just take this. You can sell it. You can keep the money. And I was like, all right, sure. And so I sold it on Craigslist and I didn't touch it. I didn't bother like wiping it, like I think I like went through and like cleared out any files and like any kind of like internet history or whatever, but I didn't like completely reset it, which was probably a bad idea, but my grandfather mostly just used it to like play solitaire. So he didn't really have any like information on there or anything like that. Like I made sure that they weren't going to be able to steal his credit card information. But it did still have his name on the like login screen. Like he didn't have like a password or whatever. It just said like hello blank when you clicked on it. And so I sold it to this like old farmer type dude who just like pulled up and, bought it, and that was it. And so I remember being at E3 not thinking about it at all, and all of a sudden getting a bunch of texts from this guy being like, "You scammed me! You scammed me!" And I was like, "I'm not sure what you're talking about. Like, it was working fine when I gave it to you. If something happened, I don't know. Maybe I can help you out." And he just went, "You didn't tell me it was gonna have the person's name on it. I don't know how to change the name. So you ripped me off." And I was just like, "You could just Google how to change the name, or you could just like factory reset it. I don't. This isn't a refundable thing."
Like,
He's like,
no issues logging in. Literally, it's the concern that it
worked.
still just said, hello, blank, blank.
Yeah. Just incredibly mad over the most trivial thing, threatening to like call the cops on me and shit. And I was just like, dude, I'm not even in state right now. I am on the other end of the country. Like, I'm way too busy for this shit. Use Google, figure it out yourself. Goodbye. And that was it. And it was very funny. But yeah, that's the kind of shit that just goes down in Craigslist. I feel like sometimes there's some cool stuff on there. Sometimes you get to find some cheap products, some used items that people don't need anymore. Sometimes you can find a job, but at the same time, people are insane no matter where you go.
Ain't that the truth?
Mm-hmm. But speaking of a bunch of insane shit, we're in week 2 of the Summer Games Fest. I don't even know if we can say that it's over yet, because I wasn't even sure when it started. It felt like it just snuck up on all of us, and it hasn't left. It's just like in the corner, waiting for us to lower our guard before it attacks us with more shit. And so this is week 2, and we had the Xbox showcase, the Xbox slash Bethesda showcase, which it's still kind of weird to wrap your head around, but yeah, it's both of those. And then we had a Capcom and a what else was it? Yeah, we had Capcom. But then also separately, we had a Dragon's Dogma 10-year anniversary celebration, as well as a Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary celebration as well. So I guess we could touch on the Xbox showcase first here. I'm just gonna keep calling it the Xbox showcase because even though it's also Bethesda, it's like that it's that they're in Microsoft too now. So what's the difference?
Exactly, yeah.
It's the same thing. They started off with that Redfall game, which the gameplay looked really cool. The writing seemed pretty bad. It reminded me of how bad the writing was in Deathloop.
Coming out, it's a game.
Yeah, it's a capital V, capital G video game.
You got a verified cryptid hunter, telekinetic threat, and student debt.
Some real writing here. Some real writing. Speaking of writing, oh boy, that High on Life game. Holy shit. And Justin Roiland's got 2 voices, huh?
Oh man, this is a Justin Roiland game.
Yeah, it seemed really bad. I mean, I don't know. The gameplay might be fine, but the writing was like abysmal in the trailer. It was very, very annoying. It's just a game where you're like some spaceman and you're going around shooting stuff, but all your guns are alive and they're talking to you as you're playing.
That is,
and that's kind of it.
That's a lot to take in.
It's a lot. It's a lot. They had another trailer for Hollow Knight Silksong. No date, but they did confirm that all of these games that they're showing are going to be out within the next 12 months. So I guess that does confirm that Silksong will be out sometime in the next year, not calendar year, but just like in the next 365 days. Hollow Knight Silksong will be out.
There you go. For every person praying every night on the rosary for the return of Hollow Knight.
Where is she? She's here, and she's going to be day one Game Pass. So there
Hey,
you
there
go.
you go.
Still very funny that people were like hounding the Nintendo indie showcases. Where is Silk Song? Where is Silk Song? It's not on the Nintendo thing. It's on Xbox.
I mean,
That in of itself is funny.
that's the reality of just having like a market where even though there's specific like console showcases, uh, any fucking indie game could pop up on any of these, and it's just a matter of just like who do I want to yell at the most to break this news slash
Mm-hmm.
who is viable for breaking this news.
It's anybody these days.
Yeah,
We're just rolling with it here.
though I think like the just general waiting on whether or not something is coming to Game Pass probably will lend more to just paying attention to Xbox a little bit more.
For sure. And speaking of Game Pass, hey, if you play Riot games on your computer box, if you have Game Pass, you're just going to be able to do all their stuff actively. All your League of Legends champions will be available. You'll have all your champions unlocked on mobile for League of Legends Wild Rift, which I guess is just the mobile version of League of Legends. The Legends of Runeterra Foundation set will be unlocked. I don't know what that means, but I mean, I guess you will if you play that. Uh, a select amount of Little Legends will be unlocked in a teamfight tactics. And all agents will be unlocked in Valorant. Like, I feel like I understand, like, three of those made sense to me. Like, oh yes, all the characters unlocked, sure. But, like, it just kind of seems like Teamfight Tactics will just give you some cosmetics, and I think Legends of Runeterra will just give you, like, a starter set.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It's kind of seems like it's weighted a bit more towards the bigger Riot games. The League of Legends, the Valorant. It's like, yeah, keep playing those. You get all the characters, and then, like, whatever. I guess you get the starter set in Legends of Runeterra. I guess they're gonna say there's more. There will be more. Who fucking knows? They had another trailer for Plague Tale Requiem. Sure. They showed off some stuff for the next Forza Motorsport game, the more realistic one, not the goofy, silly one. Which they did also talk about the Forza Horizon 5, which is getting Hot Wheels DLC. That's fun. They showed a bunch of Overwatch 2 stuff, which, let me tell you, very, very funny that for the longest time they were like, oh, this game is going to be based on the PvE mode. And now they're saying the PvE mode is delayed to 2023, and this game will be out, the early access will be October 4th. So, extremely funny that the thing that they were advertising so heavily is just not going to be in the launch.
Love to see it.
Probably because, I don't know, there's probably something that they had to cover up when they talked about this, and, as time goes on, every time something happens, they'll give another little update on Overwatch 2. So, hey, maybe some, like, big event, some big, like, I don't know, union vote or something is gonna happen on October 4th. I don't fucking know. But I guess that'll just be a bad day for Blizzard if they have to put Overwatch 2 out on that day. That just seems to be the norm here.
Love to just truncate news with Blizzard's having a bad one.
I just remember when people first started saying that, and I was like, nah, that's a coincidence.
To be so young.
It ain't a coincidence.
No, no.
Every single time they would fuck up, there would be Overwatch news or Diablo news or whatever. Like, they also had some Diablo 4 stuff here. They talked about, I think, like, the last character class. Just very funny that it just keeps being like this. Just weird, wild, crazy. There's going to be an Elder Scrolls Online expansion. There's going to be a Fallout 76 expansion where you go to the pit.
All right. Love a pit.
Lo- yeah, all right. We got Ara History Untold, which is some form of real time strategy game with historical elements. They didn't really say what it was other than that. They had a trailer for Arc 2. They showed off some more of Scorn, which is the H.R. Giger looking game. That'll be out October 22nd. There's Flintlock Siege of Dawn, which is a game where you're some lady going around killing gods. There's a strategy spin-off for Minecraft called Minecraft Legends out next year. There is a mech slash farming simulator called Lightyear Frontier, which looks pretty cool, honestly. Honestly, one of the games that I saw that I was most interested in was The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which seems to be a Metroidvania with like Cthulhu shit going on. I don't know. I see a Metroidvania. I get a little bit of that dopamine. I get a little. This seems pretty cool.
Yeah, seems neat.
Seems pretty alright. Oh yeah, that As Dusk Falls game that looked like doo doo. That looked bad.
Oh
It's like
my
some
god, I
narrative
fucking saw
game.
that.
Yeah. Oh boy. I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do with that. Like it looks like they were doing some kind of like Scanner Darkly looking like art style, but it had no actual movement, and it just looked bad. It looked really bad.
It looks like, God, I'm trying to remember what show did this, where because of COVID, they had to animate part of their
Oh
like series
yeah.
finale.
Wasn't I think that was a Pen 15 I think had to do that?
I don't know if it was Pen 15. It was like some like action crime drama shit. And the animation like definitely felt like outsourced to the last available studio at the last possible minute. Where it
I'm just
looked
gonna
like
look up
some
show
motion. It was like some motion comic shit.
and two anim. I'm just looking up show that had to animate. Uh The Blacklist.
Maybe.
That is what it was. Yes, it is a production on the drama is halted due to coronavirus. The show turned to animation to complete the season finale.
Yep. And it.
That's that's nuts.
Ooh. It's rough.
Let's see here. They had a trailer for that Naraka Blade Point game. I guess that was going to be like it was on PC, but now it's going to get ported to Xbox and probably other consoles. Did some grounded footy. There's going to be another season of Sea of Thieves because, of course, you're going to be able to be your own captain of your own ship. Which, I haven't played Sea of Thieves, but all the people that I know who play Sea of Thieves we're flipping the fuck out about this update. So it sounds like it's gonna be good. Good, so good for the Sea of Thieves heads out there. Um, Arabin Shadow Legacy is a stealth platformer. Okay. Um, this is an interesting one. Obsidian is making a game called Pentiment, which is set in the 16th century, and the art style is like medieval art. The like very flat, um, colorful yet weird looking kind of medieval art that you come to recognize. Like when you're looking up like, oh, these guys are fighting snails, like that kind of thing. Which, hey, I hope that just means that you get to fight some snails in this game, some giant snails.
All we're asking for, please.
Giant snails, please. The next Team Ninja Souls-like is going to be Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which is basically just going to be like a Chinese spin on Neo. Like they basically went, all right, how about instead of doing Neo in Japan, we do it in China this time. And that seems pretty cool for those of you who want that. I'm
Can't
sure
go
if
wrong.
Lorelai was on this, I'm sure if Lorelai was on this episode, she would be losing her fucking mind.
Right.
Yeah. We got some Persona games getting ported, which that's fun. That's nice. Yeah, they're porting Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal to Xbox. They are also going to be porting Persona 3 Portable and Persona 5 Royal to PC. And seems like they are also going to be porting those to PS5 as well. I think what the website is kind of hinting at is that like Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden are just going to be like PS4 games basically. So of course they'll run on PS5, but then they're going to port Royal to PS5 fully. Royal's coming out October 21st on all those platforms. No Switch though, so you know that someone's losing their mind about that.
Yeah, I guess.
It is kind of funny that Persona 3 Portable, I mean, I guess now that the Steam Deck is out, actually it will be portable, but for the most part, they are calling a game Persona 3 Portable that is not exactly portable. But yeah, you can play it on the Steam Deck, so I guess
Unless
never
you're
mind.
one of the 5 people with a Steam Deck right now.
Yeah. Hideo Kojima showed up for like a second on the stream and was like, "Hey, I'm making an Xbox game now." And that was it. And then they had a big old Starfield trailer, lots of gameplay. I don't know. I mean, it looks like a Bethesda game.
Yeah,
That's kind of it.
people like those.
You get to fly around in space this time.
You get to wear costumes.
You get to shoot pistols.
Remembering the Austin Walker tweet that was just your guy's Sky, and yeah.
Yeah. But that was the Xbox showcase. I mean, I already kind of mentioned what I was interested in. Maverick, was there anything that really piqued your interest?
Looking over the stuff, nothing really just like popping out at me. I'll wait to see, more footage as things come out. I'll probably pick up Silksong once it's actually available on Game Pass, but otherwise, nothing really, like, yeah. Nothing that at face value I'm going, oh my god, I can't wait to see this.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not anything that really lit a fire under my ass. You're right. Yeah, like like I said, there was some stuff that was cool, and I mean, with Game Pass being a thing, I'll probably hop on that eventually, and try a lot of this stuff out because it'll just be there. But it was also not really anything to write home about, I would say. Did you want to touch on some of the other news, or did you want to maybe talk about some stuff that you've played? Because, hey, we got there was the Steam Next Fest as well, which again, oh boy, it just never ends here.
Always games to play over here at Steam. Yeah, I can run through these because they're not like super
share some
long.
stuff. Mm-hmm.
Two of the games that I picked up I picked a few things up on Next Fest, but what I've had the time to play recently, I got through a bit of Railbound, the train-based puzzle game. It's really fun. It's really cute. It's a very easy way to just, go with the concept of, hey, get your train cars to the locomotive, let it go. You have a set number of tracks per stage that you can mess around with and move. You can curve them. You can also change the trajectory. So if you need a specific kind of like an angle turn, you can make it go one like flip to the left or switch to the right depending on what you need. Then it just very easy progression of, okay, now try and connect these two train cars together in order. Here are tunnels. The way the tunnels work is that they go out one way, go in one way, go out the other way. Make sure that you can set them up so that you aren't hitting your cars and getting like a little crash on the road. It's fun. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely excited to just try out the additional levels that they include with a few of the puzzles that you beat. So definitely seems like one of those things to just ease into when you kind of don't have much else. Also, it's train themed. We need more games about trains.
We need more themed trains. We need some more choo-choos to be talked about on the Choo Choo podcast.
And then I also picked up the demo for WrestleQuest, a wrestling-based, wrestling-inspired turn-based RPG.
I've seen a trailer for this, and it seems kind of mixed on its opinion. How are you feeling about that?
I am not hot on it. So the conceit of, professional wrestling in a turn-based context, I think that has a lot of promise. Overall, the usage of professional wrestling in video games is always there. It's all around. Didn't mention it too much because I didn't really play too much of it, but getting a chance to check out the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Raphael has a grab that's just a German suplex. That's great. It's awesome. How many grapplers are literally just inspired by moves that you see out in the ring? King, specifically in Tekken 3, mocapped by a famous professional wrestler and general bastard, Minoru Suzuki. There is so much of an integration between these mediums, and to at least see the usage outside of just immediate sports simulation or fighting mechanic, I think there's a lot of untapped material there. That said, this definitely has a lot of moving parts to it. So you have like a frame narrative of like the podcast chorus saying like, this is the story of a fantastic thing or whatever. And then you have a lot of just named older wrestlers and wrestling related people. Like there's this frame narrative of like some of the greats, Macho Man Randy Savage, the Junkyard Dog, Diamond Dallas Page. We also have the guy that co-hosted one of Bruce Pritchard's podcasts. And from there we go into this narrative where, oh no, we're not just a wrestler, we're a wrestling action figure. And we see this young wrestling action figure, do like backyard shit. And then eventually he's like, oh, I'm going to be a wrestler one day. The joke being that he thinks it's all real. Mind you, this is all taking place in a world of like toys. There are threads there that just feel very at odds with each other. And couple that with just a lot of this homage to 80s and 90s wrestling that at this point I can do without. I think that there's an ability to tell wrestling media, professional wrestling stories, and to execute, myths and mytholocism and work of the genre without having to immediately just pay almost like knockoffs of what you're going for. Your main character is like Randy Suave or whatever, like a Mexican themed wrestler, but also he's like a play on Randy Savage. You go and you help a guy out. Man, I need to pick up face paint. What do I go with? The surfer look or the goth look? Oh, okay, you're a joke about Sting. It feels very face value, and then to include the gameplay, which is very, it's a Mario RPG scenario. You have your attacks adjusted to each button, so you have like basic attack, magic equivalent attack, items, and there's a taunt mechanic that I appreciate having in there. I think it is interesting to include. But then it also, like, the timed hits component is very, rather than do it as, oh, right before you go to land that strike, go ahead and tap the A button. It's, all right, you're going to gear up, you're going to go, and you have an unspecified window of time to press the button that we flash on screen. It's more QTE than timed hit. And it really hinders the actual flow. And it's interesting to see how, in a way, professional wrestling does work for a JRPG aesthetic. If it's about movement, if it's about flow, if it's about being able to continue a dynamic from person to person, there is so much foundation there. But here, it's kind of squandering that. Hell, you can fatigue somebody and, get them down to a point where you can pin them. And then the mechanic is to, you have like one of those bars that comes up once you select like the pin skill, and it's like you have to match the arrow to the moving green target. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, if you can visualize it. Like,
yeah.
And you have 10 seconds to hit that 3 times. And I can't get over this idea that you're giving me 10 seconds to land a 3-second pinfall. That just feels very cumbersome. There's a lot of fat. It is the nicest way that I could put some of my concerns about the game. Other things, it's just the fact that I don't care about... I care enough about older wrestling to be enamored by the history of it. I don't need another person telling me, oh, here's why Macho Man Randy Savage is the best wrestler of all time. Because I already know a guy who can do that. And specifically, he tells me about the time that he took revenge on the tree that Randy Savage's car accident occurred with. And it can't get any better than that. Like, there is new ground to tread with this kind of thing. And hell, even stuff like the Yakuza series, I think does a better job of baking in professional wrestling into its livelihood. It's interesting to see. I'm curious how the full game will look like. The voice clips are also kind of ass. I hate hearing these recycled ooh yeahs or shitty Macho Man impressions, or just like, it takes a lot to be the person that I am and the excellent executioner. Like, on one hand, I get that it's supposed to be maybe inherently cheesy because, you're riffing on toys, you're riffing on this idea of, old territory wrestling. But I don't know, man. Sometimes I just want good writing.
Yeah.
I would rather good writing instead of like a joke about give me a thesis on the pile driver, which guess what? Someone did. There is a professional wrestler who, for his degree in, I believe, being able to also be a physician or a personal trainer, did write a full thesis about either the pile driver or the DDT. So that already exists. It's not... But at that point, that's me just getting pedantic about a game that I wish I was more hot on, ultimately.
It definitely seems like something that would be right up your alley, but it's just like they're just kind of playing to the cheap seats. That's what they're doing.
And that's the thing. Like, I have no idea what my ideal version of this would be. I was thinking about it as I was playing it. Maybe I actually want like a wrestling visual novel, and not just a joke about, John Cena's sexy high school adventure, but to actually go through the duality of what it is like to be a person who is paid to go and get dropped on your head for a specific amount of money. And those the decisions around that, not just inside the ring, but outside the ring.
Yeah, you want something different. You want something to play around with it.
When I talk
And
about
so
it, it
far, they're
definitely it sounds like I might want to check out that Suda Fire Pro Wrestling story. That might be
right.
something that can like scratch that itch. But then I'm just wondering, why haven't we gotten more of that in the space that's not just immediate sports sim of the WWE games, the nebulous reality of whatever that AEW game is going to be, and then everything else around Fire Pro. Like there's so much focus on wrestling games as how they play, but then there's not as much on what would it be about.
Just a weird thing. Not really sure what it wants to be.
It's very not sure what it wants to be. It's Toy Story. It's a jab at kayfabe. It's a like fantasy of, I don't know. Like there are so many moving parts to it. Ultimately, that I could see some good ideas in there, but also not too sure if there's anything that makes me too eager to carry on.
Right. So I played a demo. I got around to. Oh, okay, that's not true. I played a good amount of a demo, and then I like touched two other ones. That
All right.
I want to play more. I want to play more of one of them. So the ones that I only kind of touched was I played a good amount of, or not a. I do want to play more. But I played a little bit of this game called Curse Crackers for Whom the Bell Toils. It's a pixel art game. It's a platformer. It's got a cute art style. You got a little guy that you can shoot at your opponents. Again, I want to play more of it. It seems pretty basic, but in a good way, in a fun way, a good one. You play as this girl named Belle, who's an acrobat, so she's jumping around, platformer shit. And she got a new boyfriend who's a knight, and he gets kidnapped by your rival. So you gotta go save him. I mean, that's kind of it. It's cute. I liked what I played so far. Lots of bosses, lots of gameplay, just fun little adventure platformer thing. The other game that I messed around with for like a hot minute was there was an SCP game, and of course I gotta try it.
Oh shit! Backroom Simulator.
Backroom Sim. It was just I just got bored. I'm not gonna lie. I fucked around with it for a bit, and honestly, the sound was like so poorly mixed that I couldn't even really properly get scared. Cause like the plot. I'm gonna try my best to explain this without going too in depth, and also, as I explain this, I'm gonna sound very stupid. So the plot is that you get called up to a containment site because a ritual that has to be done in order to stave off a powerful entity, I guess, didn't work properly, and so I guess the entity escaped. It's the Hanged King, who gets staved off by like the ritualistic reenactment of a play. And so you show up and it's dark and you're like, oh shit, it's there's some unreality going on here, folks. We got to be careful. But like I said, the sound was mixed so poorly. I was like walking around and I was just kind of like, I can't really tell what's going on around here. There was a locker jump scare, where there's like a mannequin inside of a locker. And because the sound was so fucked up, I was just kind of sitting there like, I didn't even get startled. I was just like, what the fuck is going on with this game? It did not seem very well made, so I just kind of quit then.
Damn.
But the game that I did play a good amount of, though, was I gotta get the name correct here. Let me see here. It is Slayers X Terminal Aftermath Vengeance of the Slayer. So for those of you who may not know what this is, it is a spin-off Hypnospace Outlaw. One of the characters in there, I gotta make sure I get his name
Zane
right
Rocks
here.
_14.
Yes, Zane. Uh, he was working on a first-person shooter. Claims that he was making it in 1998 in high school, but now he's 37, so he has life experience, so he can finish it. And it's really good. It's just like a really solid boomer shooter, but it's also very silly because it is all in character. Like, Zane self-inserted himself as the character, and you're going around killing the Psycho Syndicate because they're a bunch of evil turds using hack blood to bring evil enemies to life to take over the world. But the X-Slayers are there to defend the Earth, to fight off the Psycho Syndicate, even though they're beep holes and don't even deserve it. Oh no, they're defending the people of the Earth, even though they're beep holes to the X-Slayers and don't deserve to be saved. Yeah, the X-Slayers are extremely powerful, obviously. You get all kinds of cool weapons. Like, straight up, honestly, there are some really cool weapons in this game. Like, the shotgun equivalent is just a glass blaster. So you break windows, and then you just pick up the glass from the broken windows and use that as ammo.
Oh, which is, that's, I think, great.
It's really good. Your, like, standard weapon is a dual pistols, which I can't describe it per se, but the firing animation is one of the funniest animations I've ever seen. It is just so extra.
What is it? One of them?
He's constantly...
Or no, go ahead.
He's spinning them around, like he's trying to do like John Woo shit, but like every time you shoot, it like turns the gun like 45 degrees, and then it just stays there. So if you like shoot like 4 times or whatever, it'll be like one gun will be upside down, and then one of them will be sideways. It's very funny. It's like it's goofy as all hell. You're shooting turd monsters. But then at the same time, it's just good too. Like, it's just a well-made boomer shooter. So it's awesome. I'd say definitely if you like these sorts of games, please do check it out. It's fantastic. A lot of real dumb shit. Here, I'll just read I guess the level list here, because it says we will hunt them down and get them wherever they hide. They can hide anywhere, like my room, the sewer, the playground, the Dollar Shaver store, the laundromat, Professor Pizza, inside a computer, at the South Boise July 4th Fair, and more.
Oh man, I like this too because of the fact that it gives a lot of information about what the Netscape Citizen, not Netscape, Citizen Sleeper, there we go. Is that it? I can't remember. But no, like basically the Hypnospace sequel that's coming out as well is, based, same idea, but now it's going to be 2000s internet. And the idea that Zane still exists in this universe, that one, canonically, he survives the mine crash and goes on to be a developer of something. I love. But then, yeah, like, knowing that in his little profile, he comes from Boise, Idaho, it's those little things that really just, like, add to the world building. And also knowing that Professor Pizza is still, out there. Oh, Dream Settler, there we go.
It's good to check up with all of our friends from Hypnospace here. Yeah, that's kind of it, I mean, I'm still chipping away at SMT Strange Journey. I did get a code for Mario Strikers Battle League, and I played a little bit of it, but I kind of suck at it, so I don't have too much to talk about. I don't know, that game seems like it's one of those things where like people are gonna figure it out and then it's gonna be alright, because like I've already seen some people posting like, actually the way that you aim the ball is wrong according to how they describe it. You have to aim it this way. And it's just like, alright, I'm just gonna like wait for them to figure this game out, and then I'll play it. Because
Yeah.
it seems like it's just one of those weird things where it's just like, yeah, who fucking knows how this works yet?
Yeah, the only other thing I've been playing is Saints Row 4, which I started a bit of it, knowing that, I appreciate Saints Row for what it does, for what it is. I like things that are goofy, and if you want goofy, Saints Row 4 definitely goes into the goof factor that 3 was starting to, escalate to an extent.
Yes.
But man, does it look like dog shit on PC?
Really?
It looks like buns, or I don't know if it could be my PC's own like specifications. That might be it. But at the same time, it's like cutscenes are running at 24 frames, but it doesn't seem like I'm having. It's that thing where it runs kind of like shit, but then it doesn't feel like my computer's having a hard time running it, which is weird. It's so out there, but then, all aside from the visual look, it's fine. It's more Saints Row. They give you superpowers this time around because you're the president, and after you choose to either, what is it, cure cancer or end world hunger, one of the two options that you're given by your vice president, Keith David, aliens come by, and now you're just in an alien simulation that you gotta get over. It's also just really good to have a I don't know, in 2022 it's nice to have a game where in part of the bit you get this leave it to beaver ass brainwash scenario, and the idea of coming to your senses involves the prompt of kill the cops. It's good. There's a warmth there. I'm not on a watch list, I swear to God.
I hope not. I hope for all of us you're not.
Yeah. I mean, I should be on a watch list for how cool and how epic I am.
Yeah, the watch this guy.
Yeah, the watch these nuts watch list.
All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, so Capcom had their little showcase.
Oh yeah, tell me about the Capcom showcase. Tell me about everyone's favorite showcase from everyone's favorite company, Capcom.
I will say they did pretty outright state that they were only really going to talk about previously announced games, which kind of just ended up making even crazier things occur, which we'll get to in a moment. But they talked about the Monster Hunter Rise, the story expansion, the big ol' expansion that's coming out for that. I'm sure if you're into Monster Hunter, you already know all about it, so I don't got to tell you. They're adding more monsters. People were very excited on Twitter about the new monsters that were getting added. I have no point of reference for that, so good for y'all, I suppose. The other big thing, though, because they showed a little bit of Resident Evil 4, they acknowledged Street Fighter 6. But then, hey, Resident Evil Village is getting a big old DLC expansion. They said that there will be it'll be out October. Yes, October. They're gonna put out a gold edition of the game, like they did with Resident Evil 7. There is a big ol' expansion called Shadows of Rose, which is 16 years after the events of Village, and is about Rose as a teen going back to I guess the village to learn more about her powers and to save the day. The expansion will also have a third-person mode for the main game, and an update to the Mercenaries mode that lets you play as Chris Redfield, Heisenberg, and Lady Dimitrescu. So that seems pretty fun. You're just gonna be able to go around kill people as those characters, or kill werewolves and zombies and all that shit. They also said that the Reverse game will also be launching alongside that. So that's neat. Some cool stuff announced for Village. I think that was like the big thing that people were like, "Oh shit, cool." Um, but the thing that was insane about this was that they were like, "Oh hey, it's gonna be Dragon's Dogma's 10th anniversary. Anyway, you should watch this celebration that we're doing on Thursday instead of like actually announcing anything here." Because on that celebration, they did announce they're making Dragon's Dogma 2. That is something that is happening.
That's
But
right.
they probably could have they probably could have just said that on the Capcom showcase because that's all they did. They just said that they're doing it.
You got to build the anticipation.
I guess so.
Also from the Capcom showcase, we got more news about that game Exoprimal, which
That's right.
I'm actually kind of interested in. I think as more people try to seeing people try to figure out what kind of game it is, like people going like, "Oh, it's an Overwatch." No, it's like this kind of a game. I've seen some people settle in that it might be a TF2. I don't
It
know.
definitely seems like something I want to put my hands on, but yeah.
There's a Dino Tornado. Like, there's a lot of good things in there.
There's all kinds of moments where you're just like parrying dinosaurs. It is very funny. But the other thing that occurred on the same day is at the same time, even as the Dragon's Dogma reveal, was there was a Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary spectacular, and they did actually announce some cool stuff. Other than like, oh hey, we're updating the first soldier, which whatever, sure, of course they're gonna do that. Hey, there's merch, sure, okay, of course you're gonna do that. There is first up. This is probably one of the weirdest ones here. There is the Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis mobile game, which, from what it seems like, is going to be some form of remake of all the Final Fantasy VII stuff. Like, it's going to be a compilation game that includes the original game, like the events, rather, Advent Children, Before Crisis, the mobile game, Crisis Core, the PSP game, and Dirge of Cerberus, the PS2 game. Like, they're just gonna, like, remake the events and, like, kind of string it all together into, like, one story and make it playable. But specifically for mobile. And also specifically as the original story with, like, without the remakes, plot differences. This is just going to be like the original game, the original story, for mobile.
Okay.
Sure.
Why not?
On top of that, though, they are also remastering Crisis Core. Which, like, again, okay. Sure. It's called Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. It does seem to be just a straight remaster, though. Like, it's same gameplay, just new visuals, and playable on new consoles. And that is coming to everything. That is going to be on Switch, and PS4, and 5, and PC, and the Xboxes. So there's that. But then they ended it off with the next installment of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy now, which is called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They just kind of showed that it's happening. They showed a scene of Cloud walking around with Sephiroth, which is pretty crazy to see. And they said that it'll be out next winter. They also confirmed that there will be a third game, and that'll be the end of it. They don't have a name for it, but they did say that they are working on it. So that's wild.
It's everyone's favorite trilogy. Also, yeah, there were like what,
Rebirth,
3 discs.
Reuse, Recycle.
Original FF7 was on 3 discs.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. That's cool.
I mean, like it makes sense that, granted, Disc 1 probably still had like a little bit after Midgar, but I could see, that's where we start. The middle just being very much like exploration. Let's do all the cool stuff. Whatever happens in Final Fantasy VII, as a noted not player of Final Fantasy VII, I don't know what the fuck happens in that game. And then you get to the end, and Jehovah, and One Winged Angel, and Omni Slash. Or not.
And that's maybe not.
Maybe
all
not.
this stuff is sick, but maybe not.
Sora's going to come out.
I mean, I'd lose my mind. That would be very funny.
Then those would be games worth playing. I kid. I joke.
The knives were turned to you for a brief moment. Yes.
Folks, we love to have fun here.
Last 2 bits of news here. First off, Tactics Ogre Reborn got leaked. I guess some sort of remake or reboot of the Tactics Ogre franchise. It got a page on the PlayStation Store. Not much information beyond that, but it's gonna happen. It seems like. They weren't. I don't think they were supposed to announce this one, but it's happening.
Shout out to Tactics Ogre. I still have to play that series.
Well, it seems like this will be a good way to do it.
Hey,
so there you go.
There you go.
Good way to play. Good way to play. And the last bit of news here is some oh boy. Folks, we got the racism embarrassment.
Racism moment.
Racism moment, folks. So, Juneteenth, I think this episode will be coming out on the 19th, so, a joyous Juneteenth to you all. Halo Infinite tried to jump in on the acknowledgement to make a Juneteenth cosmetic, and, when it got put up on the Halo Infinite page, instead of being named Juneteenth or Freedom as it was for a moment and all that, it was titled Bonobo, which, for those who are not aware, is a species of ape. Which is not a good look at all. No, sir.
And then change it over to Freedom.
It's so the thing is, which I've seen some posts from people who used to work for both Bungie and 343, who have mentioned that one of their internal tool sets, which I guess was originally a Bungie thing, but maybe 343 is still using it, is called Bonobo. So this seems to be an extremely bad mistake instead of like outward racism. Of course, there is a chance that it was, but it does seem like the most realistic answer was just that they didn't like write in a name for it before it got posted, and then the program just autofilled its own name, and it was very unfortunate. Because there was a Reddit post which I watched the Castle Super Beast segment on this because where else will you turn for moments like these? But they specifically mentioned a Reddit post where someone who used to work for Bungie said that when they were updating something for Destiny, and they had to change the word PlayStation to be capitalized with the S capitalized because it's PlayStation. They couldn't just do that because it wouldn't be considered a change. So he typed in PlayStation with the correct capitalization and then I love corgis, and then meant to go erase the I love corgis so it would actually save, and then didn't. and then the next day got a bug report being like, hey, why does it say, please connect the PlayStation I Love Corky's controller? So it does just seem like this was like they're using some old rickety tools for these games because they're, you know, based on these old, like, you know, the original Halo, that they're probably just using the same tools because that's what they know.
It's very, you know, final document, parentheses 1, parentheses, final document, parentheses 2, parentheses.
Yeah. But it is just extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, no, like that fucking sucks. And for people that might be going, oh, what's the big deal? Come on. It is more so just having to recognize that that is just a faux pas at the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not just like the name used, but then also the color set, that it is a usage of green, yellow, black, and red, which is often a, you know, shorthanding, or it is usually symbolic of Pan-African, you know, usage. It usually like colors that are on the Pan-African flag, or, you know, still relating to an extension of Black culture. And like, I'm probably preaching to the choir here. The people who listen to our podcast who might go like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Because ultimately, Juneteenth is still has been recognized very recently, has been celebrated since the inception.
Yes.
But, man,
it definitely seems like, yeah, like, I think the Kotaku article here just says, like, you know, at best, it's an embarrassing fuck up, and studios' quality checks did not catch it before the update went live. At worst, someone or many someone's cracked a racist joke somewhere in the development process, and the studio's quality checks did not catch it before the update went live. Like, either way, the people that are checking this stuff fucked up and let something slip through that was very unfortunate and very racist, and it's just bad that it happened. Like, holy shit. Just bad.
And again, it's part of, you know, who is inside the development studio, who is around, so that we at least have people that are able to say, hey, we got to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Look at the fucking date.
Yeah. Look at what this is supposed to be for. Big ol' oopsie poopsie there. 343.
Love a little fucky wucky. Right before celebrations of cattle slavery, and then having to continue to just survive in a place that does not want you to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Legitimately happy Juneteenth to everyone who celebrates, to everyone who will celebrate, and, you know, as shitty as things can feel, it is never a bad moment to celebrate the fact that you are still here.
Mm-hmm. So to wrap this up, let's look at the questions. If you want to send in questions, go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. You'll sound like this anonymous user here, who asks, what would you do if it was a hot one? Like 7 inches from the midday sun. It has been a hot one lately. My car's AC has been broken. And it's been hitting over 100 degrees here in Texas pretty regularly.
Yeah, it's starting to heat up around here.
But I did fix it yesterday, which is very nice. I went out and I got one of those AC recharge kits, and I did it myself, so I'm proud of that. And I'm getting cool air in my car again. I'm very, very happy about it. I do think I still need to fuck around with it a little bit more, but it seems to be working. It's working way better than it was, I'll tell you that much.
Right. I don't know. Like, it's less that it gets hot in my room as it is that it gets just so stuffy, because I only have a skylight. And with that, you know, I actually have, the room I'm in comes with a one of those like Japanese ACs.
Right.
So occasionally it'll just be like, oh man, I gotta let this go for a little bit, then turn it off, try and let like the residual cold just stay in until it gets stuffy again, and then turn that on. And here's hoping I'm not raising my heat or electricity bill too much, but
for sure. It's fucking sweltering out there, folks. Stay safe how you can. Take some sips of some water when you have the chance. Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated, stay in the shade, stay cool. God, I'd like love to go to the beach at some point.
A beach trip, you say?
I wouldn't mind it, you know. I was doing a few beach trips at the start of the pandemic. Wasn't able to go last year due to just a lot of shenanigans, but it does the body good.
Yeah, it does. All right, yeah, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. I'll get back to you on that.
I mean,
I'll
I
get
don't
back
know.
to you on that for sure.
We're always busy with the podcast. We always got to have something else going on. I'm not going to put my hopes up on, you know, just having that happen just like in the blink of an instant, you know. Besides, we have episode 400 coming up. That's a very,
true.
hallmark. That's a very big hallmark.
That's true. We got a lot on our plates, but
I've got to order some things. I'm making a lot of phone calls right now. The company card is decidedly in the red right now for this spectacular audio experience that we're going to record.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be a time, but you know, I think we got some stuff cooking up. I think we got some stuff cooking up, perhaps. All right, well, folks, I think that will do it for this week's episode. Maverick, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today.
Of course, my pleasure.
It's always great to talk to you, my friend. And it's always great to talk to you all listening out there. If you want to continue to follow us, you can follow us on our video game website, videogamechoochoo.com. It's choo-choo like a train. We have our Twitter, at VGCC. You can find us there. You can follow us. We're posting stuff. We have our Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. We have a Facebook, facebook.com/videogamechoochoo. And let me tell you, we are trying our best to update some things, do some more writing here and there. I got a review up. We're doing a new weekly news roundup, which I think will be interesting. We're going to be trying to do a little like commentary on there here and there, just like a quick little roundup. And we've just got stuff coming up, and that's very exciting. We've got some very exciting stuff going on. Of course, you can follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/VGChoochoo. I don't know if we're going to be streaming anything anytime soon, but we might. It's always a good idea to follow us on there. We have our Discord server, the gamezone.zone. You type that into a browser and it'll bring you straight there, and we can hang out, we can talk, we could post all kinds of crazy shit. It's just fun there. It's just wild and wacky and an adventure, if you so choose. And if you really like what we're doing, you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/VGCC. Your money goes to not just the site, but the games that we play, the podcast, hosting, the upgrades that we're doing for the site, all of that. It's all being fed back into the site. So anything would be appreciated. Right now, you can look forward to Maverick and I, as well as LV and Rose, talking about anime every 2 weeks on Unlimited Railworks, as well as the occasional anime, the occasional anime, of course. The occasional interview for Starlight Car. LV actually did quite a few of them. We're editing them together. They're taking a bit just because they're pretty hefty interviews audio wise. Like we're trying to make sure that things are presented in a way that is fulfilling and interesting. So please stay tuned for that. And speaking of audio, you can go to meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com to listen to the music by Melt Channel / Magic Circuit, who made our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. Check them out, especially during Bandcamp Fridays. Give them an extra slice of the cheddar. And that'll do it. Maverick, where can people find you?
People can go ahead and find me on Twitter at Mavsplaniamania. That's at MAVSPLANIAMANIA, where I just go ahead and post, main way to ever want to contact me or need anything of any sort of conundrum, if you need
Absolutely.
lamp oil, ropes, bombs, it's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rupees.
I appreciate that you are so willing to help us out at our time of need.
Do not actually ask me for bombs. I do not need to be put on a list.
Lamp oil and rope is fine, though.
Those are fine. I can secure those.
Yes, of course. You can find me at JOHN_MICHONSKI on Twitter, and that's kind of it, because that's where I post. That's what I do. I'm just on there sometimes. And that'll do it. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. So long.